The sun was hot over the dry desert. The sky was big and blue. Wind blew across the sand, lifting small clouds of dust. There was nothing for miles, no towns, no trees, no people. Only rocks, sand, and heat. But in the middle of this empty land, there was something strange. A metal cage stood in the desert. It was large, square, and old. The metal bars were red with rust. Around the cage, black stones were placed in a perfect circle. It looked like a trap, or maybe a prison. Inside the cage sat a girl. She was not human. Her skin was a soft silver color. Her hair was pale blue like the morning sky. Her eyes were large and dark. She had long arms, slim legs, and small, sharp ears that pointed backward. She looked both young and strong, and she looked tired. She sat with her knees pulled to her chest. Her head leaned against the bars. Her eyes were half closed, watching the sky. She had been there for a long time. Her name was Nara. No one knew where she came from. Some said she had fallen from the sky in a flash of green light. Others believed she was found by hunters near the old mines. But none of that mattered now. What mattered was that she was trapped. And the people who had put her there never came back. She could not break the bars. She had tried. The metal shocked her hands with each touch. Her arms still carried small red marks. The cage was built to hold her, to stop her powers. She was not strong in this place. Time passed slowly. Day turned to night and night to day again. The desert was quiet. Then one morning something changed. A sound, soft at first, like a whisper. Then louder, footsteps on sand. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Nara lifted her head. She blinked against the sun. A man was walking toward her. He was young, maybe in his late 20s. He had tanned skin and black hair that was tied back. A cloth covered his neck and part of his face to block the dust. He wore a large backpack and carried a long stick in one hand. He walked with care, looking at the ground. But soon, he looked up and saw her. He stopped. Nara stared at him. He stared back. He had never seen anyone like her before. His name was Dasik. He was a wanderer, a man who fixed old machines and traded in lost places. He lived alone, moving from one broken town to another. People called him a desert scavenger, but he liked to say he was just a man who listened to the wind, and today the wind had brought him here. Dasik stepped closer. He moved slowly, not wanting to scare her. Nara stayed still, her body tense. "Are you?" he began, then stopped. He was not sure what to say. "Are you okay?" She blinked again. He looked around. The cage, the circle of black stones, the sand. No sign of others. No guards. No tracks. Just this strange girl, trapped alone. Dasik dropped his bag and walked around the cage. He reached out a hand and touched one of the bars. Zap! A spark of blue light jumped from the metal. He jumped back, shaking his hand. "Damn, that's not normal." Nara finally spoke. Her voice was quiet but clear. "It hurts." "You can talk," Dasik said, surprised. "Yes. Who put you in there?" "I don't know their names," she said. "Men in black suits. They said I was dangerous. I was not." Dasik looked into her dark eyes. He saw fear, but also something else. Loneliness. He sat down on the sand, just outside the cage. "How long have you been here?" "I don't count days," she said. "The stars moved many times. I sleep, I wake, nothing changes." Dasik took a water bottle from his bag and drank, then held it out toward her. She looked at it but didn't move. He frowned. "You can't reach it, can you?" "No." He sighed. "Right. The cage." He looked closer at the structure. The black stones, the pattern, the wires beneath the sand. Someone had built this with care. It was more than just a trap. It was like a spell. "Who would leave you here like this?" He said softly. "They were afraid," she said. "I came from far away, not by choice. A hole in the sky. I fell. I did not mean to hurt anyone. You didn't? No. Desik looked down at the sand. People do bad things when they're afraid. He stood and walked around the cage again, this time looking at the stones. They were smooth, heavy, and warm. He picked one up and felt a strange hum. Nara watched him. "You're not scared of me?" she asked. Desik shook his head. "I've met scarier things in old towns. Broken robots, angry thieves, sandstorms." She gave a small smile. It was the first time she had smiled in weeks. Desik walked back to her. "I don't know how to break this cage yet, but I'll figure it out." Her smile faded. "You will leave, like the others?" "No," he said. "I don't walk away from people in cages." He sat again, close to the bars. Nara tilted her head. "Why help me?" He looked at her and shrugged. "Maybe because no one helped me once. I know what it's like to be stuck." They sat in silence for a while. Above them, the sun moved slowly across the sky. The sky turned orange as the sun moved lower. Shadows grew long across the sand. The desert was quiet, but something had changed. Desik sat near the strange cage. Inside, the alien girl, Nara, stayed close to the bars. She watched him carefully. He didn't try to open the cage again, but he didn't leave either. That made her curious. She spoke softly. "Why do you stay?" Desik looked up. "I don't know. Maybe I don't want to leave you alone." "I've been alone before," she said. "Still," he said, "no one should be alone forever." Nara looked at him for a moment. Her dark eyes shimmered in the fading light. She didn't speak again right away. She sat back down, crossing her legs. "Can you eat?" Desik asked. He opened his pack and took out a small box. Inside were dried fruits and small crackers. "You eat human food?" "I do not know." He reached under the bars and pushed the box forward. The energy field didn't stop the small box. It slid toward her. Nara looked at it, then slowly picked up one of the crackers. She sniffed it. Desik smiled. "Not poison, just dry." She took a small bite and chewed slowly. Then she nodded. "It's strange, but good." "See?" Desik said. "I'm not trying to hurt you." "I know," she said. "You are different from the others." He leaned back against his bag. The sand was warm beneath him. "What others? The ones in black suits?" "Yes. They wore masks. They spoke fast. They said I was a threat. They locked me inside. And then they left." "Why?" "I don't know," Nara said. "I think maybe someone was coming, or maybe they were done watching me." Desik raised his eyebrows. "Watching you?" She pointed up to the sky. There were drones, flying things. They circled the cage every day. Desik looked up. The sky was clear. No machines, no sound. "They're gone now," he said. "For now," she replied. He frowned. "If someone's watching you, I need to be careful. I didn't come here to start a war." "No war," Nara said. "I just want to be free." Desik stood and walked around the cage again. He stared at the metal, at the glowing control panel on the side. The symbols didn't look human. Alien shapes. Complex and sharp. "How does this thing work?" he muttered. "I do not know," Nara said. They used a small black stone. They placed it in the panel and the door opened once, then closed. "A key?" "Maybe." Desik rubbed his chin. "So they had a device. Without it, I can't shut down the field." He looked at the energy screen. It buzzed softly and shimmered with light. The cage didn't have a lock he could break or a wire he could cut. "I could try something else," he said. "Maybe I can block the power." Nara shook her head. "I don't want you to get hurt." "I'll be careful." Suddenly, a sound broke the silence, a soft click and a faint hum. Desik spun around. A small black drone hovered in the distance. Its round eye blinked red. "Damn," Desik whispered. They're still watching. The drone turned and flew away fast into the sky. Who do you think controls them? He asked. Nara looked sad. A group. Scientists. Soldiers. Maybe both. They don't want me to leave. Why? They're afraid of what I am. Desik sat down again. He pulled out a small device from his pack. It was a signal jammer, used to block simple machines. He turned it on and placed it near the cage. That might stop more drones. For now. Nara looked at him. You came from far. Way? He nodded. I was a scout, military. After the war, I didn't want to fight anymore. Now I just fix things. I travel. She tilted her head. You lost someone? He didn't answer at first. Then he said quietly, yes, a brother. He was kind, brave, didn't come back from the last mission. I'm sorry. Desik gave her a sad smile. Thanks. They sat in silence for a while again. The sun was low now. The sky turned red and purple. The first stars began to shine. You don't look like the enemy, Desik said. I'm not, Nara said. My world was dying. I escaped through a crack in space. I thought I would find help, but I found cages. What happened to your world? Fires, storms, machines that broke the air. We could not fix it in time. Desik nodded slowly. Sounds like Earth. A long time ago. Nara looked surprised. You fixed it? Barely. It took years. People had to change. It wasn't easy. You are lucky, she said. He smiled. We are stubborn. That helps. A cold wind started to blow. Night was coming fast. Desik opened his bag and took out a small heat lamp. He turned it on and set it near the cage. You'll be warmer now. Nara looked at the light. Thank you. Desik leaned back. I'll camp here tonight. You will stay? Yes. You're not afraid of the drones? They already saw me. If they come, I'll be ready. She closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them, they looked softer. I thought, all humans were cruel, she said. But you are not. Not all of us are the same, Desik said. Some of us still care. She looked at the stars. I hope more like you come. Maybe, Desik said. But first I'll figure out how to get you out. That night Desik couldn't sleep. He lay on his mat listening to the wind. Every sound made him reach for his old pistol. He hadn't used it in months, but tonight he kept it close. He watched Nara in the cage. She was asleep, her arms curled around herself. He thought about what she had said, about the drones, about the people who locked her up, about the way she looked at the stars like they were her only friends. Desik made a promise to himself then. He would not let her stay in that cage. The desert sun rose slowly, painting the sky with soft pink and orange colors. The air was warm, but a cool breeze blew softly. Desik woke early. His mind was full of plans. He looked at the cage where Nara still sat. She was awake too, watching the sunrise from inside her prison. Desik felt a strong urge to free her, but the cage was not simple. It had a glowing energy field that made it impossible to touch. The metal bars were thick and held strong. Whoever built this cage wanted to keep her locked forever. He walked around the cage, looking carefully. The control panel hummed with power. Strange symbols glowed softly. He knelt down and touched the sand, trying to find a weakness. Nara, he said, do you know anything about the cage? How it works? She looked at him, her big eyes serious. I do not control it. The black stone that opens the door is with them. Without it, I cannot leave. Desik thought hard. If I can find that black stone, maybe I can open the cage. Nara shook her head. The men in black suits took it with them. They watch from far away. They have machines to find it. He sighed. We need to be careful. I don't want to make them angry. Suddenly, the quiet desert was broken by a buzzing sound. A small drone flew over the cage, scanning it with a red light. Desik raised his hand and pointed his small signal, jammer. The drone's light flickered and then it moved away. Nara looked at him with hope. You can stop them. I can try. Dasik spent the day working. He took tools from his bag and looked for wires or switches in the cage's base. The cage was buried deep in the sand, with strange cables running underground. He dug carefully, feeling the hard metal under the surface. There were tiny boxes connected by wires, power sources for the energy field. This is smart, Dasik said to himself. They wanted to keep this cage running no matter what. Nara sat close by, watching quietly. She moved slowly, careful not to touch the energy field. Tell me about your world, Dasik said during a break. Nara's face softened. My world was called Leora. It was full of light and trees and rivers. But the machines broke the air, the fires came. Many died. I escaped through a crack in space hoping to find safety. Dasik nodded. Sounds like Earth a long time ago. We fought many wars for air and water too. Yes, Nara said. We both lost much. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Dasik looked up. I think I have an idea. He pulled a small box from his pack. It was a device used for old mining drills, a portable power disruptor. He explained to Nara, if I can overload the power sources underground, it might shut down the cage's energy field long enough to open the door. Nara's eyes widened. That is dangerous. I know, Dasik said, but if we do nothing, you stay trapped. She took a deep breath. I trust you. He smiled softly. I won't let you down. As the sun fell lower, Dasik prepared the device. He checked wires, connected the disruptor, and set a timer. If it worked, the energy field would turn off for 5 minutes. I'll need to move fast, he said. Nara nodded. I will be ready. The desert grew dark, stars sparkling overhead. The wind was cold now. Dasik took a deep breath and pressed the button. Suddenly, the power hum stopped. The glowing energy around the cage vanished. Nara looked at the bars and reached out carefully. Her fingers touched cold metal, not electricity. Dasik pulled open the cage door slowly. It creaked as it swung wide. Nara stepped out. She was free. For the first time in many days, she breathed the open air. But the freedom was short. A loud noise shattered the quiet desert night. Engines roared in the distance. Bright lights flashed. Dasik, Nara shouted. They're coming, he said, eyes sharp. A large skiff, black and fast, landed nearby. Men in dark suits poured out, weapons ready. Dasik grabbed Nara's hand. Run! They ran across the sand, feet sinking in the loose ground. Behind them, the men shouted orders. The desert was wide but full of dangers. Dasik knew the land well. He led Nara toward a narrow canyon. Stay close, he said. Nara ran beside him, her heart pounding. They reached the canyon's mouth just as the skiff's engines roared closer. Dasik looked back. The men were chasing them. Suddenly, Nara stopped. Her eyes glowed with a strange blue light. A soft hum filled the air. A wave of light shot from her hands. It hit the ground, and a wall of energy rose, blocking the pursuers. The men hesitated. Dasik stared, amazed. Nara, what is that? He asked. My power, she said. I can protect us. The pursuers fired their weapons at the energy wall, but it held strong. Let's move, Dasik said. They ran deeper into the canyon. Nara's energy shield faded slowly. They hid behind large rocks, catching their breath. Dasik looked at her. You have powers. Why didn't you use them before? I was afraid, she said. They said it was dangerous, but now I must. Dasik smiled. Good. They waited as the men searched the canyon, shouting. The night was filled with tension. Then Dasik took Nara's hand again. We have to keep moving. There is a place nearby, an old outpost. Maybe we can find help there. Nara nodded. They started walking again, careful and quiet. After hours of walking, the outpost appeared. It was a broken building, half buried, in sand but still standing. Dasik opened the heavy metal door. Inside, dust covered old computers and broken machines. He found an old communication console. He wiped the dust away and powered it up. The screen flickered and showed static. "We can send a message," Dasik said. "Maybe the Human Alliance will hear us." Nara watched him work, hope growing in her eyes. Dasik sent a short distress signal, telling of Nara's capture and their escape. "We must wait now," he said. Nara looked out the window at the stars. "You think they will come?" she asked. "They will," Dasik said. "We are not alone." Suddenly the outpost's alarms blared. Outside, the men in black suits had found them again. Dasik grabbed a broken pipe from the floor. "Nara, stay close. We fight now." She nodded, ready. The door burst open. The men charged in. Dasik swung the pipe, knocking one down. Nara raised her hands. A blue light shot out, knocking others back. Together they fought bravely. But more men came. Dasik looked at Nara. "Hold on a little longer. Help is coming." The battle was fierce. But they stood side by side, man and alien, fighting for freedom. The fight inside the old outpost was loud and fierce. Dasik swung the heavy metal pipe with all his strength. Nara stood beside him, her hands glowing bright blue as she pushed back the men in black suits. But the men kept coming. They had weapons, guns that shot strange energy bolts. The outpost's walls shook under the noise. Dasik looked at Nara. "We can't keep this up forever. We need help." Nara nodded, but she was tired. Her powers were strong, but they drained her fast. "I will try to hold them." Suddenly, a loud roar came from outside. A shadow passed over the broken windows. The men stopped and looked around nervously. Dasik raised his head and smiled. "That's our chance." Outside, a large ship landed with heavy steps. It was a transport craft, painted with a blue stripe and a white star, the mark of the Human Alliance. Soldiers jumped out, their weapons ready. They moved fast and with clear order. "Freeze!" shouted a tall man in armor. "Drop your weapons." The men in black suits looked shocked. They didn't expect help. Some dropped their guns, others ran for the door. The soldiers chased after them. Inside the outpost, the fight ended quickly. Dasik dropped his pipe, breathing hard. Nara lowered her hands, the glow fading. The tall man walked over. His face was kind but serious. "Are you Dasik?" he asked. "Yes," Dasik said. "Who are you?" "I'm Captain Han. We received your distress signal. We came as fast as we could." Nara stepped forward. "Thank you. They kept me locked and watched me. They wanted to use me for their experiments." Captain Han nodded. "We know. The group in black suits is a rogue faction. They want to control alien technology. They think you're a weapon." Nara looked at Dasik. "I am not a weapon." "No one is," Captain Han said. "We will protect you." Dasik felt relief wash over him. "Will you take her to safety?" "Yes," the captain answered. "But first we must move quickly. The rogue group may try again." Dasik helped Nara up. She was tired but stood tall. Outside, the soldiers secured the area. The desert wind blew dust across the broken buildings. Captain Han spoke quietly. "We will take you to the Alliance base. There, you will be safe." Nara looked up at the stars. "Thank you." The transport ship flew high above the desert. Inside, the cabin was cold and quiet. Nara sat next to Dasik, staring out the window. She was free but still scared. Dasik broke the silence. "What will you do now?" "I don't know," she said softly. "I only want to live in peace." "We will help you," Dasik promised. The ship landed on a large space station orbiting a blue-green planet. Captain Han met them at the airlock. "Welcome to the Alliance base." The station was huge, with bright lights and many people walking quickly. Nara looked around in wonder. She had never seen so many humans before. "We will find scientists to help you," Han said, "and guards to protect you." Dasik watched her carefully. "Do you trust them?" She thought for a moment. "I hope so." Days passed. Nara lived. In a small room with windows looking out to space, scientists came to study her, but they were kind and gentle. One of them, Dr. Mina, talked with her every day. "How do you feel?" Mina asked one afternoon. "Better," Nara said. "I learn more about your world. It is different from mine." Mina smiled. "Yes, but there is hope. We want to help you." Nara nodded. "I want to help too." Desik visited often. He told her stories of Earth and humans. Sometimes Nara showed him how her powers worked. She could create small lights or move tiny objects with her mind. Desik was amazed. "You're stronger than most," he said. She laughed softly. "I have had to be, but not everything was peaceful. Rogue group attacks still happened outside the station. The Alliance soldiers were always alert." Desik worried. "They won't give up." Nara looked out the window. "I will protect this place." One night, the alarms sounded loud and fast. The base was under attack. Explosions shook the station. Desik grabbed his weapon. "Get ready." Nara stood beside him, her hands glowing. The doors to her room burst open. Men in black suits ran inside. Desik fired his gun, hitting one attacker. Nara raised her hands. Blue energy shot out, pushing the others back. They fought side by side, moving with strength and hope. More soldiers joined the battle. The attackers were pushed back. The base's defenses held strong. When the fight ended, Captain Han came to check on them. "You were incredible," he said to Nara and Desik. "We fought for freedom," Desik said. Nara smiled tiredly. "I am not a prisoner anymore." After the battle, the base was quiet again. Desik and Nara sat together. "I never thought I would find a friend like you," Nara said. "Me neither," Desik replied. They looked at the stars through the big windows. "Your world may be gone," Desik said. "But here we can start again." Nara took his hand. "Thank you for breaking my cage, for showing me kindness." Desik smiled. "You showed me courage. That's why I stayed." Together, they watched the stars and dreamed of a future where no one would be caged again. The days on the space station passed quietly. Nara and Desik grew stronger together. The danger from the rogue group had lessened, but they knew it was not gone completely. The soldiers on the base were always alert, and new security measures were added each day. Nara often walked through the station's gardens where plants from many worlds grew. She loved the feeling of green leaves and soft flowers. It reminded her of Leora, her home planet. Desik walked beside her, smiling. "It is good to see you happy." Nara looked at him and nodded. "You gave me hope when I had none." Desik felt warm inside. "You gave me hope too." One morning, Captain Han came to visit them. "We have news," he said. "The Alliance Council has agreed. You, Nara, will be given full protection and a place here." Nara's eyes shone. "Really?" "Yes," Han said. "You will be part of the Alliance, not a prisoner or experiment." Desik smiled proudly. "That is good." Nara looked out the window at the stars. "I want to learn, to help others who suffer." The captain nodded. "We need people like you." Weeks passed, and Nara began training with the soldiers. She learned to control her powers better and how to work with others. Desik helped her practice and kept her spirits high. One afternoon during a break, Desik asked, "Do you miss Leora?" Nara's face grew soft and sad. "Yes, but I know I cannot go back. I must live here now." Desik put his hand on hers. "You are not alone." They sat quietly, watching a soft blue light flow through the garden. One night, as Nara and Desik walked back to their quarters, the station shook. "Alarm!" a voice shouted. The base was under attack again. This time it was worse. The rogue group had sent a large ship, bigger than before. Explosions rocked the station and lights flickered. Desik grabbed Nara's hand. "We have to fight. We can't lose this place." Nara nodded, her eyes glowing bright. The battle was fierce. Nara used her powers to block enemy fire and protect the soldiers. Desik fought bravely, helping where he could. Together they moved through the corridors, pushing the attackers back. The Piro rogue group was strong but not prepared for the defense. The soldiers rallied, and with Nara's help, the attackers were defeated. After the fight, Captain Han gathered everyone. "You showed courage today," he said. "Nara, Dasik, you saved this base." Nara smiled. "I fight for freedom." Dasik looked at her with pride. "We fight together." In the days after the battle, the base became a symbol of hope. Nara was no longer the alien girl in a cage. She was a hero. The Alliance held a ceremony to welcome her as a full member. Dasik stood beside her, proud and happy. At the ceremony, Nara spoke to the crowd. "My home is lost, but I found a new family here. I will protect this place and all who live here." The crowd cheered. Dasik squeezed her hand. "You are free." Life on the station moved forward. Nara and Dasik trained, learned, and helped others. They built a friendship stronger than fear or pain. Together, they dreamed of a future where no one would be caged or hurt because they were different. One evening, as they watched the stars, Dasik asked, "What will you do next?" Nara smiled softly. "I want to help find others like me, others trapped and lost." Dasik nodded. "We will find them together." They looked at the stars, ready for the journey ahead. The desert where Nara had once been caged was far away now, just a memory. But the story of the alien girl and the man who broke her free was only just beginning. Together they were a new light in the dark. Together they were hope.